A safe space where facts can be processed for results. Please like, dislike, subscribe. I do subscribe back, okay? Comment, share. I am grateful for your presence here on the block.
Social responsibility isn't a deep shift because it's a voluntary tactic, a reaction to a certain market at this point. And as the corporation reads the market differently, it can go back. One day you see Bambi, next day you see Godzilla. Social responsibility isn't a deep shift because it's a voluntary tactic, a reaction to a certain market at this point. And as the corporation reads the market differently, it can go back. One day you see Bambi, next day you see Godzilla.
Grand Rising, Grand Rising, Grand Rising. Today was interesting. Welcome to our first installment of our new podcast. Oh my goodness. I didn't even write it down what the name of it is. Forgive me. As you can see, it's new. I was supposed to have everything together, and of course, at the last minute, everything went a little hectic. Kind of used to it. But we're doing Conundrums of Blackness. I stated yesterday, I talked a little bit on Gratitude and Chill, a little bit about what we were going to be going over. So in this introduction, I will be giving you a who, what, why, and how we're going to get through this podcast. It's going to be kind of extensive. Conundrums of Blackness, discussions on prejudices and hate in our community. I'll say it again. Conundrums of Blackness, discussions on prejudices and hate in our community. This is the first installment, which is the introduction. Let me also say, Grand Rising, peace and love to you. I hope all is well. Happy Friday. Friday is my favorite day of the week. And this is the main reason why I put this podcast on Friday. Since we're talking about some heavy situations, I figured why not have it on the most positive day when dealing with my energy. So I created this series to begin the processes of highlighting the factors that actually play a huge role in the undermining of our core foundations in our family and socially, which would include work, school, public, and family, of course, would be at home. We will build workable theories and also solutions to repair the harms that our men, our women, and our children who are in desperate need of conducive mending and repair on, I want to say, a psychological level and a socio-political level. We will actually be bringing guests on, men, women, and I have some youth that I'm vetting to have live discussions at their own discretion, of course. If you're not willing to do it live, that's fine. That's not a problem at all, and I respect that. We can also, in the background, do some pre-recorded audio, to discuss these factors, identify the problems, identify the issues that we are dealing with and they seem to be getting worse. So, we're going to discuss the factors in this conundrum for positive healing, and I'm even going as far as to claim the repair of our families and our community. I have done some research. I actually, on my Facebook, I gave them a behind the scenes today of the little process that I go through with just working on trying to really make this effective. And it was kind of hard to find actual studies that weren't like from the 80s or the 70s about this issue. I did find a study where they did in 1980s about the conflict between the black woman and the black man, and of course it literally stated in the beginning there's not a lot of comprehensive information out there. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody's talked about it. I don't think for this whole entirety. I don't think there's ever been any mending or correcting some serious issues that we face. We may not be dealing with them now, but they are imprinted in this society, and it's showing in our schools, it's showing in our youth, it's showing individually through relationships, etc. But I will say there's a 2020, I think it was 2020, not 2022. I was about to say 2022. I'll actually, like, you'll see the document and hopefully you'll be able to get a link to pull it up because I actually downloaded the document. We've got one document, the psychology of American racism. I don't plan to use the document wholly because it's not really geared to the interpersonal relationships. It's not really geared into the foundations, of our homes, the foundations of our interactions between each other. Like, it doesn't really go into that, but there are some useful pieces in there that I saw that I kind of want to expand on and just get the information out there. I also have DBT skills, dialectical behavior interpersonal therapy. I was very happy to be selected to be in this group with Columbia, and I learned a lot. I did resign from the group simply because in the phase that I'm in right now, I kind of needed another. I don't want to say I didn't really couldn't really find it useful. I did find it useful, but what I'm doing, it was, most of the information I was really kind of already doing as a caregiver. So, I didn't want to waste my time, waste their time. So I got as much information as I could. So I'm going to be sharing the mindfulness module. Um, Again, the interpersonal effectiveness therapy module. And I want to identify these behaviors that need to be decreased. And the opposite of that would be skills needed that we should be increasing. So we're going to have our first guest next week. And we're going to, this is what it's going to be. Hopefully, this will be beneficial. This is not going to be only geared, like, we're going to bring youth up here. We're going to have recorded audio of my daughter has even, she's elected to support. So we're going to work out a little interview, ask some questions, and, just kind of hear where she's coming from the youth view of the state of our existence. It's sad. It's a lot of sad things going on. We all have work that we could be doing in hopes to improve us as individuals, which will improve the family, which would improve the community, and which would improve our status as a people. And I'm truly, truly grateful in advance For everyone that is willing to support, ready to support, make sure that you share the content. You can give us a like, you can give us a dislike. Please engage. If you have questions or subjects, topics that you feel like we should cover, I am opening up my email for all emails. You just email at shellfromtheblock@gmail.com. Um, I'm highly appreciative of this process and this journey. Something sparked this podcast. We talked about it a little bit yesterday, and I'm just ready to go. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of up late last night. We did a 2-hour live on Facebook, and we went through a beautiful processing of what we're going to be talking about in this podcast, the family, and how we're harming one another emotionally, how we're not supporting one another. And if you're not dealing with that, you do not have to not be here. You may have friends that are having issues, don't know how they're going to figure it out, maybe handling things the wrong way. Send them this way. I want to send a shout out to DI's TV. I also want to send a shout out to Truth Be Told. I am hoping me and DI's TV, and I know she's going through some medical things right now, and I really hope that she gets better as soon as possible. But I really would like to bring her into the conversation. This is not a black problem. This is a human problem that we are all having with some beautiful people who have went through degradation, who have been targeted to the point where I believe it has been internalized, and it hurts to see us and our youth being seen as threats by the media. I was highly disturbed by the article in NBC. I think it was 17, maybe 24 hours ago. The media is now stating, instead of just showing the crime and all of the stuff that's going on, all with a lot of people. But there's a lens that I don't think a lot of us realize, that like all eyes are on us. And it's a process being in this position, but I do want to give some of my energy to even sharing the processes that I have went through to realign myself individually first, with some grounding, even with my family and my child and the way that I raised her. And, it was really hard. It's really hard, but not to complain, only to give gratitude and try to help with what's going on today. It's going to be a long process, but I know and I have hope that we can do this. A conundrum, maybe a conundrum, as long as you accept it as a conundrum. There are solutions, but we have to be willing to do the work. We have to come together, unite more, and I'm not going to get too much further into that. But that's what we're doing here on this particular podcast, Conundrums of Blackness, discussions of prejudices and hate in our community. I will thank you for now and forever for joining us here on the block. This introduction is ending, and I want to make sure that you know that I love you, and I want you to be safe. Please be aware. Next Friday at 5:55, we will be doing our first part installment, and we will be having a guest. Truth be told, will be joining us. And I cannot wait. I'm super excited. Again, please like, dislike, share, comment some topics. If it's personal, you can email me. I will say this: if you want to share something and you don't want to be involved in the process, and you want to share a story, question, experience, and you don't want it, like you want to be anonymous, that's fine. We can work all of that out. Just email me at your earliest convenience, and we're doing this. Peace and love. I will see you actually Thursday, but for this podcast, I'll see you on Friday. Thank you. I love you. Again, be safe and aware.
Social responsibility isn't a deep shift because it's a voluntary tactic, a reaction to a certain market at this point. And as the corporation reads the market differently, it can go back. One day you see Bambi, next day you see Godzilla.
A safe space where facts can be processed for results.